So, we are down to the final 6 candidates for the new name of the former Arizona Coyotes. Still bummed about that they moved out of the state and are now up in Utah. But anyway, what will the now Utah-based Coyotes franchise be called? Well, they will be either the Utah Mammoth, which is actually my personal favorite. I hope they go with that one. Or second, a close second on my personal preference list is the Utah Yeti. And I think a lot of people who know me might be surprised that's my second choice, given what a huge cryptozoology nerd I am. But I just think the Mammoth, it's just a stronger sounding name than the Yeti, my opinion. Now, rounding out the rest of the list, we have the Utah Blizzard. And I think that's kind of a cool name. No pun intended. The Utah Venom. Not bad. The Utah Outlaws. Okay, one, I guess. Then, honestly, I don't know how this one got on the list. Then we have Utah HC. Yes, Utah Hotel Charlie, as in Utah Hockey Club. Folks, if you open up a dictionary and you go to the word lame, the example they will give will be Utah Hockey Club. Who decided that should be on the list of final candidates for the new name of the former Arizona Coyotes? I mean, what lazy, uninspired meat sack came up with that in the first place? Talk about a lack of creativity and a lack of imagination. And honestly, the person who came up with Utah Hockey Club, and actually all the people on the committee who approved it for the list of finalists, they should go work for Disney because they'd fit right in with that company, since nowadays Disney avoids creativity and imagination like the plague. Man, you know what? ChatGPT could come up with a better name for Utah's new hockey team. Heck, when I used to play fantasy football, I came up with better names for my teams than this. The New Jersey Swamp Lords, the Trenton Terror. Now, those are cool names. Of course, I don't think a name like Swamp Lords would work for a Utah-based hockey team, since, as far as I know, there aren't any swamps in Utah. But they could go with something like, say, the Utah Bighorns, the Utah Bobcats, a couple animals that are native to that state. Heck, they could have even kept the Coyotes name, since there are plenty of them up in Utah too. Though, to be honest, I would be shocked. I would be stupefied if the people in charge of the former Arizona Coyotes decided to actually call their team the Utah Hockey Club, Utah HC. Oh, man. Which means that the list of finalists, I feel, is actually 5 names. And how about this for an idea? Hear me out on this one. Whichever names Utah's NHL team doesn't use, gift them to the Utah Jazz. Now, I'm not big on established teams changing their name, especially when they do it for, shall we say, politically expedient reasons, but I would make an exception for the Utah Jazz. Now, let's be real. Who thinks of jazz when they think of Utah? Now, that name worked fine when the franchise was based in New Orleans, but not so much in Utah. Just something to think about. Hey, at least here in the Tri-City area, we don't have to worry about coming up with names for any of our teams. But we do have to determine which of our local teams stood out among the pack for the 2023-2024 season. Yes, the summer top 10 lists roll on here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup, here on the News, 1490 AM, 103.5 FM, online at kyca.info, and live streamed on the KYCA Facebook page, and also live streamed on KYCA Digital on YouTube. Another Saturday of great local talk on KYCA with Healthline with Dr. Hancock coming up at 9 o'clock, then Drive Time AZ at 10 o'clock. But before we get to your health and automotive needs, we have to unveil the Tri-City Sports Roundup Top 10 Local Teams of the Year for 2023-2024. Who were the most successful teams of the past year? Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's find out right here, right now, starting with number 10. They stumbled out of the gate, dropping 6 of their first 9 games of the season, but it wasn't long before they started to turn things around to the point they not only beat their opponents, they pounded them into the ground. At one point in the season, they were the best hitting team in the country. For the 3rd year in a row, they qualified for the CalPAC Conference Championship Tournament, but it wouldn't be easy as they had to face the number 1 seed Benedictine Mesa not once, but twice in the tournament. And Ben Mesa, they had swept them during the regular season. But they beat the Red Hawks in both games and won their first CalPAC championship to qualify for the NAIA World Series. They went 1-2 in the Lewiston bracket, dropping a close one to British Columbia to end the season with an overall record of 30-20. Now, they have to replace 16 players who graduated in order to continue their success in 2024. Congratulations to Embry-Riddle Baseball, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 10 Local Team of the Year. Next up, number 9. This was another team that got off to a rough start. They lost 4 of their first 5 games of the season, and they lost 4 of their last 5 games going into Christmas break. But it was during that downtime that the players reevaluated their situation, decided they didn't like the way things were going, and recommitted themselves to getting better. Hitting the court with a new attitude, they blazed through the CalPAC Conference and at one point rattled off an 8-game winning streak. That secured them a spot in the CalPAC Championship Tournament where they faced Antelope Valley, the team that actually beat them in overtime in the championship game a few years prior. The squad got their revenge, won the conference championship, and qualified for the NAIA National Tournament for the first time in program history. They may have lost their first game to Carroll College, but certainly had a memorable season with the conference championship in their final year in the CalPAC and an overall record of 19-13. Congratulations to Embry-Riddle Women's Basketball, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 9 Local Team of the Year. Before we go to break, we're going to give you number 8. There's a song by the metal group Exit Eden called Run. And you can certainly dedicate it to this group of young men and women because that's what they do. They run better than anyone else. For the 10th consecutive year, the men brought home the CalPAC title while the women won their 9th straight conference championship. After that, it was on to Vancouver, the one on our side of the border in Washington, for the NAIA National Championship meet. The men ended up in 27th place, while the women came close to a top 10 finish, coming in 12th place. After a decade of dominance in the CalPAC, they'll have a new conference to try and rule over as starting this fall, they will compete in the GSAC. Congratulations to Embry-Riddle Cross Country, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 8 Local Team of the Year. Well, folks, we're just getting started with our top 10 local teams of the year. Who else makes the list? And who will be crowned the number 1 local team of the year? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned and find out. We will be back right after this. We are back here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here on this Saturday morning. And we are once again doing our summer top 10 list. Today it's the top 10 local teams of the year. Coming in at number 9 was the Embry-Riddle women's basketball team, who won their first Cal-Pac Conference championship in program history. We're going to talk a little bit more about this squad as we go to the phones. And on the line with us right now is the head coach of the Embry-Riddle women's basketball team. That is Michael Trujillo. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Morning, John. How's everything going?
Everything's going fine with me, Coach. And, of course, Embry-Riddle women's basketball, number 9 team on our Tri-City Sports Roundup top 10 local teams of the year list. And you know what? When the season started, I think we've talked about this a few times, when the season started, didn't look like the Lady Eagles were going to make this list because, again, you lost 4 out of your first 5 games, and you lost like 4 games going into Christmas break. So what happened where the team just turned it around during break and they came back looking just like a brand new Riddle basketball team?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a shock to all of us, coaches, players, everything. Everybody, we kind of expected that we would have a good year, and so when we had some of those early losses, it kind of caught us off guard, and that's kind of how it goes sometimes. But the difference was when we lost that second game to Park. We had just turned into the second half of conference, and we sat down, had a team meeting, and realized, guys, this is not the way it's supposed to be going. We're not talking about a championship anymore. We got to start just talking about game by game, and we had 2 team meetings right in a row, and said some things that people probably didn't want to hear, but it soaked in, and they took it to heart, and we went out and won that next game at Ben U by 27, and that started that 8-game winning streak that you talked about. And it was just a reflection of the ladies that we have in the program, and the belief that they have in each other, the belief that they have in what we're asking them to do as coaches, and they really came together towards the stretch, like you mentioned earlier, and man, that was a lot of fun. Closing the season out, and being able to make it to the conference tournament, and winning that championship against Antelope Valley, and beating them for one, but then how we beat them, that was kind of the icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think one of the really cool things with Riddle basketball is, maybe unlike a lot of other basketball teams, you didn't have like the 1 or 2 big guns that you had to depend on every single night. It's like every night there was a different player who was a hero. One night, Susie Reynoso would have a big game. Next night, it would be Megan Strickler. Next night, Zakira King. Next night, Ariana Gonzalez. It was just, you never knew which player was really going to step up and have the big game for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we really kind of hang our hat on, is our team depth, and the fact that we have so many different talented players in so many positions. Exactly what you said. It's anybody's night on any given night, and if 2 of our main starters or main scorers are having an off night, somebody else is going to step up, and to be able to have that where we can go to our bench players and not have any drop off from our starters. That was a huge luxury that we had this year. And that, again, it's a reflection of, we talk a lot about the team, and it's not about the individual player. It's about what we can accomplish as a team. And that's a reflection of it when different parts of the team can step up and contribute to those wins. It just kind of reinforces the fact that these ladies do have a really strong belief in the team and belief in each other.
Okay, well, Michael Trujillo, head coach of the Embry-Riddle women's basketball team, I want to thank you very much for calling into the Tri-City Sports Roundup this morning, giving us a little more insight on Embry-Riddle women's basketball, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 9 local team of the year. Coach, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to talk with you. You have a great one.
Thanks, John. Always a pleasure being on here, man. You take it easy, too. Don't let them work you too hard over there now.
That's not going to happen here, because I'm actually on vacation next week, so I won't be working hard next week.
All right, good. Enjoy the time off.
I will, man. Have a good one, Coach.
You too. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Michael Trujillo, head coach of the Embry-Riddle women's basketball team. Let's get back to our list, folks. We're at number 7. They were back-to-back conference champions entering the season, but could they make it 3 in a row? They appeared on the right path as they steamrolled through the Cal-Pac, posting a 22-2 conference record. Then came the conference championship tournament, which they hosted for the second year in a row. And once again, They got the job done and got the three-peat. While they did go 1-2 in the regionals, both their losses were by just one run. They concluded their final season in the CalPAC Conference with a 39-13 overall record. Next year, we'll find out if they can be just as successful in the GSAC. Congratulations to Embry-Riddle Softball, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 7 local team of the year. We're at number 6 now. This is a team that keeps getting better every year, and all their hard work paid off with one of the best seasons this program has ever had. After putting in terrific performances during the regular season, this squad went into the section meet as the favorites, and they lived up to the hype, winning the Section 7 championship. After that, it was on to the state tournament. They concluded day 1 in 8th place, but then roared back to end the tournament with a 5th place finish in what was described as the toughest field in Division II history. While they lost some key guys to graduation, this squad always seems to reload and should have another outstanding season this fall. Congratulations to Prescott Boys Golf, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 6 local team of the year. Next, it's number 5. They've been tops in their section for the last couple of years, but could they sustain that success for a third year in a row? You bet they could. During the regular season, they ripped through their dual meets and had impressive performances at the Invitationals, including a 4th place finish at the Tiger Open and winning the Legler Cup. Then came the postseason, where their dominance continued as they won the section championship for the 3rd season in a row. At the Division II state tournament, things went very well for this bunch. Thanks to some strong individual performances, the team secured a 9th place finish. This coming season, we'll see if they can make it a 4-peat as section champs. Congratulations to Bradshaw Mountain Wrestling, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 5 local team of the year. And to give us a little more info on why Bradshaw Mountain made the number 5 spot on our list, we're going to go to the phones right now. We will be talking to the Bears head coach, that is Bud Nolet. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Morning, John. Thanks for having me.
You got it. So, Coach, Bradshaw Mountain Wrestling, our number 5 local team of the year. 3-peat for the section championship. What is it about this team where you not only smoked your opponents during your dual meets, but you were able to win section for the 3rd year in a row?
Well, I guess just a good group of guys and hard work, good support staff, good coaches, just a lot of hard work, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, a pretty successful time at the state tournament. You finish in 9th place there. Actually, I'm trying to think. Is that one of your best finishes in program history? 9th at state?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's the first time we were top 10 as a team. We had a great shot the year before, but unfortunately, we lost some of the team points. One of the guys not making weight the last day, but yeah, overall, I think that was the best we've ever done as a team.
Yeah. So looking ahead to next year, and again, I know you've graduated a couple of really good guys. I think Dion Zamora is gone. Gabe Ricketts is gone. I mean, two of your really, really strong wrestlers there. But how are things looking for the Bears for next season on the mat? Will you be making this list again next year?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I think we look pretty strong, pretty solid. A lot of it just comes down to just their work ethic and whether or not they can step up, rise to the occasion. But we did have a lot of juniors on the team last year. So next year they'll be seniors. So they should be able to carry the team. And overall, yeah, we're looking strong. We have some good incoming freshmen coming up. And it looks like we're going to have another Ricketts joining the team next year as a freshman. So, but yeah, it's always sad to lose our seniors. We've known those guys a long time, but they're going to go off to do great things, and we'll just keep rebuilding and move ahead.
All right. Well, Bud Nolet, the head coach of the Bradshaw Mountain Wrestling team, we want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Again, the Bears wrestling team, our number 5 local team of the year here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Coach, congratulations on that. And thank you very much for joining us here on the show. We'll talk to you again very soon. You have yourself a good day.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, you got it. Again, Coach Bud Nollett of the Bradshaw Mountain Wrestling Team. Getting back to our list, we're already at number 4. From top to bottom, they were loaded with talented athletes, and they showed off that talent in a huge way at every invitational they competed in. Many of their athletes had top 10 finishes there, and as a result, punched their tickets to the Division III state meet. All the success they experienced during the regular season carried over into the postseason as they garnered more top 10 finishes at state, including a state championship for one of their relay teams. When all was said and done, they came away from the Division III state meet with a 4th place finish. A few of their athletes even qualified for the open state meet, competing against athletes from all the other divisions in Arizona. And they put in solid performances there as well. While they had a lot of success this year, get ready for next year because they have a bunch of returners to their roster. Congratulations to Prescott Girls Track and Field, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 4 local team of the year. Next, it's number 3. Given who they had on their roster, you knew this team was destined to have a great season. That became more apparent when they traveled to San Diego for a tournament at the end of December, took on some of the best teams in California, and beat a couple of those teams. They continued racking up wins when they got back to Prescott, going undefeated in the month of January and posting an 11-0 record in Grand Canyon region play. That earned the team its first region championship in more than 20 years. Their run through the postseason came to an end at the hands of the eventual state champion, but for the second year in a row, they made it to the Elite 8 of the 4A Conference State Tournament, and their 23-5 overall record was one of the best marks in program history. Congratulations to Prescott Boys Basketball, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 3 local team of the year. Now, it's number 2. Ever since we started these top 10 lists, I don't think there's been a year when this team wasn't on it. Even though they began the season with a loss, it didn't take long for them to course correct and do what they usually do: win. A lot. While they did not have the prolific goal scorers we normally see from them, they did have plenty of guys who knocked in goals here and there, while their defense kept firing their absolute zero cannon, pitching 11 shutouts during the season. In the state tournament, they played in not one but 2 overtime games, winning them both. In the state championship game, they had an epic battle with Snowflake and unfortunately came up short by a score of 4-3. Still, a 15-3-1 overall record and a state runner-up finish are things that this team can be proud of. Congratulations to Chino Valley Boys Soccer, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 2 local team of the year. So, guess where that leaves us? Yes, even I can do this math. Number 1. Who has the top spot on our list for the 2023-2024 season? Well, I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm just going to expand the drama here. Just play out the drama through our commercial break. That way you're left hanging on until we get back from break. But when we come back, we will reveal our number 1 local team of the year here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. We'll be back right after this. We are back on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here, as today we have our top 10 local teams of the year for 2023-2024. And before we get to number one, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what we've had so far, numbers 10 through 2. Number 10 on our list is Embry-Riddle Baseball. Number 9, Embry-Riddle Women's Basketball. Number 8, Embry-Riddle Cross Country. Number 7, Embry-Riddle Softball. Number 6, Prescott Boys Golf. Number 5, Bradshaw Mountain Wrestling. Number 4, Prescott Girls Track and Field. Number 3, Prescott Boys Basketball. Number 2, Chino Valley Boys Soccer. And now, number 1. They play a sport that does not get spotlighted very much, but they certainly have garnered more and more attention with the way they've been playing. After finishing as state runners-up the previous 2 seasons, they kicked off the 2023 campaign with back-to-back sweeps of Agua Fria and Castile. Then came a match against an always tough Ironwood team, which they lost. But they didn't hang their heads over it for too long, as they won their next match. And the one after that. And the one after that, and so on and so on and so on for the rest of the regular season. They entered the Division II state tournament as the number 2 seed and once again made it to the championship game, but came up just a little short to Ironwood for a 3rd straight state runner-up finish and an overall record of 16-2. While they didn't get a team championship, they can claim the state champion for singles in Division II. So congratulations to Prescott Badminton, the Tri-City Sports Roundup 2023-2024 number 1 local team of the year. And to tell us more about why Prescott Badminton has the top spot for our list this year, let's go to the phones. We're going to be talking to their head coach, Bobby Yoder. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, John. I appreciate the honor. That's a lot of good teams that are on your top 10 list, and I appreciate everything you do for these kids, you know.
Yeah, well, and we certainly appreciate everything that you've done for this team. I mean, Bobby, you and your players, I mean, they have, like I said, badminton is not the sport that garners a whole lot of attention in the world of basketball and football and baseball and volleyball and all that. But certainly Prescott Badminton has made its mark over the past few years, and and now here you are, number 1 on our list. So what has this journey been like the last 3-4 seasons where, the Lady Badgers have become one of the top badminton teams in the entire state?
You know, it's I still kind of look back and can't believe I'm coaching badminton. That's definitely not something I saw myself doing. But every year, it's a great group of kids, athletes that come in and work hard, and most of them have never played before and can't hardly hit the bird the first day they come in, and they put the work in, and it's been a special group the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. This last year's group was even more unique in that we lost almost everyone from that team going into this year, and if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that we were going to be state runners up, I don't know that I would have believed you. It's one of those things. We just had a really young group on the varsity level and experience, and again, they worked hard and probably overachieved a little bit. At the end of the season, we were down one of our my number 2 player. We were out her for team state, and so that just made things a little bit harder, and it made it that much more special and amazing that they were able to get back to the championship game, because that literally moved everybody from the 3 spot up 1 spot. And then I brought a JV kid up, to fill out the rest of the varsity team, and the fact that they were still able to compete. And I think our toughest one was probably Chaparral, the semifinals. That was just an amazing, those girls showed up and kicked some butt.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I kind of like what you said there. It's like a lot of the girls who first come to your team, they've never hit a birdie, never played badminton. And badminton, it's not like it's a sport where you have kind of a feeder system before you get into high school. You don't have middle school teams like you do, say, for wrestling or basketball, or you don't have, youth clubs or club teams like, say, with football or volleyball. It's like they're just coming in like, fresh into Prescott High School. And it's like, okay, here's a racket, here's a birdie. What the heck do I do with these things? So just tell us what the process is of like turning these girls from, I have no idea what I'm doing, to now we're competing for a state championship.
Yeah, it's very unique in that there is no feeder program. It's kind of the one high school sport where it doesn't have that. We're lucky if any of these kids have played, badminton in the backyard, let alone at the in the school setting. So you just go into basics, and again, you give me athletes, and we can turn them around into pretty good little badminton players in short time. It seems like. But just going through the fundamentals and the basics of the sport, and then it's just a matter of just like any sport, it's a matter of reps and the time spent and the commitment level. And these girls have fun with it. I mean, I think if you asked any of the girls in the program or any of the past players that have graduated, I think even they are a little surprised at how much they love the sport and how much fun they had. So.
And now we talked about the team accomplishments, state runner-up finish, a 16-2 record. But of course, badminton's one of those kind of, I guess, unusual sports where along with the team component, you've also got a singles and doubles component. And of course, when we talk about the singles component, we talk about the recently graduated Riley Crockett, who brought home a state championship for singles in badminton. And I don't know how long it's been since Prescott has had a singles champion for badminton. I think it has been quite a while.
Yeah, there's I don't have all my notes with me, but there's been a couple singles and a couple doubles, and then an actual team state championship in the last 49 years of badminton at Prescott High School. So there's definitely been a couple over the years. But what these girls, the last 4 years, what these girls have accomplished, and Riley Crockett specifically, it's unmatched, and it hasn't been done at Prescott High School. I mean, to go undefeated all 4 years, regular season in singles and doubles, and to have 4 section championships and 3 state runner-ups, and then she was state runner-up in doubles last year with L. Long, and then a state championship in singles this year. I mean, no other player in the history of badminton at Prescott High School has that kind of resume. And I kind of knew that she was going to be special her freshman year, which is why I kind of put her on varsity, to get that experience. And again, she showed up and worked hard, and she put herself in a position to have that success. And it's not easy. There's definitely been some ups and downs along the way. The mental game is just as important, as the skill level and all the rest of it. And they definitely see that, the tougher teams and the tougher competitors that they go up against, where that's just as important. So, her and L. Long and Megan Townsend, all those girls that played at the number 1 spot and were state runners up in singles and doubles. I mean, that's a testament to those kids. So.
Yeah, and of course, in another month or so, we're probably going to be doing our Tri-City Sports Roundup Top 10 Local Female Athletes of the Year. And I don't know, Coach. I have a feeling that Riley Crockett might have a good chance of cracking that top 10 list.
Yeah, again, we're all appreciative of you recognizing these kids. So.
Well, thank you very much for that, Coach. But before I let you go, we're like only 2 months away now from the start of the 2024 badminton season for Prescott. So how's the roster looking for you as you try, hopefully this year, for a state championship?
Yeah, it's again, I lost kind of the last of that those players from the state championship level team these last 4 years. So we're definitely young. But again, these girls are already, we've been going since the end of February with open gyms and stuff, and they're getting in the gym, they're working hard, and we're going to have a few spots to fill in for, with either JV kids from last year or maybe newcomers, incoming freshmen maybe. So it's yet to be seen what that will look like. I think they'll have a successful season, but how successful, obviously that's definitely yet to be seen. And, as we get a little closer to the season, I can probably give you a better answer to that. But they're in there working hard, and that's where it starts. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. All right. Well, hey, Coach Yoder, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Again, Prescott Badminton, the #1 local team of the year. Congratulations on that honor, Coach, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing what Prescott Badminton is going to do in 2024.
All right. Thank you, John. I appreciate the recognition.
Hey, you got it, Coach. You have yourself a good day.
All right, you too.
Okay, well, folks, there's another top 10 list in the books, and we're going to keep rolling on throughout the summer here with our top 10 list. Well, not next Saturday, as you heard me mention earlier in the show. I am actually going to be off all next week. My sports reports, they'll be handled by Marty Myers and Scott Jackson and Nick Pearsall, so they'll be taking over for that. And for the show next week, we're just going to run a previously aired best of show. So yeah, it won't be live. It'll be Memorex, as the old commercial goes. So again, rerun for next week here, but we will be back live on June 22nd. And on that show, we will give you the top 10 local coaches of the year. And as we progress throughout the summer, we've got more top 10 lists for you. After top 10 local coaches of the year on the 22nd, we will have one of my personal favorites on the top 10s, the top 10 local grads at college of the year, because we always like to do alumni updates. We like to see what our local athletes are doing after they've left the local high schools or transferred out of Yavapai College after their 2 years were up there. Then, of course, we get to what I like to call the big three. We'll have the top 10 games of the year, the top 10 female athletes of the year, the top 10 local male athletes of the year. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. Looking at my candidate list for those three, I think I've got about 28 or 29 games on my candidate list for top 10 local games of the year. Yeah, good luck to me trying to whittle that one down to 10. And then I look at the candidates for top 10 local female athletes of the year, top 10 local male athletes of the year, and there are going to be a lot of people from those lists that I am really, really going to be bummed to leave off because, again, I got a bunch of highly qualified, very accomplished athletes, but can only narrow it down to 10. In some ways, it'd be like someone coming up to me and saying, hey, John, give me your top 10 Nightwish songs. John, give me your top 10 Rush songs. Give me your top 10 Sabaton songs or your top 10 Iron Maiden songs. I'd be like, I don't know. Well, I like this song, but I also like that song. I don't want to leave this song off the list, but I got to put that song on the list. But then I leave off this song. I don't know what to do. I know. Those are my first world problems. So anyway, folks, like I said, we got more top 10 lists coming up for you this summer. And by the time we get done with the top 10 lists, well, we'll be getting ready for the fall sports season in August. Yavapai College and Embry-Riddle athletes should be getting back on campus. High schools will be starting, and all the teams will be having their practices. And we also get to see the first year of girls flag football at both Prescott and Bradshaw Mountain. So we'll see how those programs go, because I know the coaches there, they've been scheduling clinics over the summer. It looks like both Prescott and Bradshaw have gotten a lot of good turnout for their flag football team. So going to be interesting to see how this plays out as we get into fall sports. Again, folks, I am going to be off next week, but I'll tell you this. If you want to catch me in person tomorrow, I am going to be over at the Prescott Valley Community Market. That takes place in the parking lot around Harkins Theater. That goes on from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I'm going to be over there, and I am going to be selling my books. I'll have my table up. I will have all 23 books that I have published right there on my table, so you can come over and get them. Got a ton of sports books, here and gone, short-lived sports teams and leagues. The hindsight draft, kind of my what-if Major League Baseball teams made different decisions in MLB drafts. How would baseball history turn out? So I will be over there. That's the Prescott Valley Community Market, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. over at the Harkins parking lot in Prescott Valley. Also got some really good food trucks over there because I've done this market a couple times last year, and along with some really great vendors, some really great food trucks, especially this one that does cheesecake. Oh, cheesecake in a cup, man. And so good. Hopefully they're going to be there tomorrow. Anyway, folks, coming up for you here on KYCA, coming up at 9 o'clock, we've got Healthline with Dr. Hancock. After that, it is Drive Time AZ. That'll be coming up at 10 o'clock to wrap up our Saturday slate of local talk shows. And again, it's going to be pretty warm out there. I think temp's going to be like up around 92, 93. So, hey, if you got anything you want to do outdoors, try to do it either here in the morning or do it later in the evening when it's cooler. Be sure to drink plenty of water or plenty of Gatorade. You definitely want to stay hydrated. Stay in the shade. Stay in air conditioning. We don't want you, passing over from dehydration or anything. Well, folks, that is going to do it. I will see you back here on June 22nd. Till then, have yourselves a great day. I'll see you again next time.